I'm Kat, and this is my channel, Do All the Crafts, and that really is kind of the goal, as much as I can afford them. But I really want to encourage you to try new things, to do new things. You may be good at them, you may not. You may find some things that you hate doing and things that you love doing, but you won't know until you try them. Today, I'm reviewing this book, Witchcraft. It's a really cute little book with tons of ideas for Halloween decorations. There's food recipes, ways to decorate your food, sewing projects, crochet, knitting, cross stitch. There's a lip balm recipe in here. Just all sorts of stuff to keep you busy, and for all sorts of skill levels. You will know, like on the more detailed things such as crochet and knitting, you will need to have some basic knowledge of those. It does give you some common terms in the front, such as crochet abbreviations and knitting abbreviations, but it doesn't give you any tutorials on how to do any of that. This is more of a general crafting book. It does also give you a list of metric conversions if you're in a country that uses the metric system, because all the measurements in here are on English. So you will need that. They give you plenty of templates for doing the crafts. You will need access to either a copying machine or tracing paper. Doesn't seem like any of them need to be enlarged, so you could just use tracing paper to make the templates for the different crafts. I really like the pictures they give you. It gives you a lot of detail on how to do things. Some of the stuff I feel like, in a lot of craft books may not come out precisely or be quite as easy as you hope. But for the most part, I think that it gives some pretty good instructions and some pretty good details, so you could make pretty much everything in here, just depending on what kind of background you have and how much knowledge you have of some of the crafts, such as sewing or knitting, crochet. So now I'm going to show you a few of the little things I made out of here. So one of the simpler food crafts is you can make a little jack-o'-lantern out of a tangerine orange. This is one of the little clementines. He kind of has a little smirk. But that's a little personality. We'll see how smirky he is later when I eat him. I also made these absolutely cute fuzzy bats. I realized that I got eyes that were too small. These are 6mm. It did say to use 10mm, so read the instructions. But otherwise, I think these turned out really well. I did sew the wings on my sewing machine, and I think they came out pretty good for me freehanding them. I was just winging it. The rest I sewed by hand because I was a little worried about the faux fur getting into my sewing machine. I don't really know if that would be an issue, but I didn't want to chance it because I just bought my sewing machine. It really didn't take that long, even with hand sewing. So if you don't have a sewing machine, you could theoretically do it all by hand. It might take you a little while on the wings because there's some extensive sewing to simulate the veins. But other than that, like sewing up the little body doesn't take long. I do feel like in the picture you can see on the cover it looks very round, the bat, and I feel like when I sewed it up it's kind of got a more like oblong shape. I'm not sure why that came out that way, but I still think he's pretty cute, and he's got some great little wings on here. The last craft that I did was the vampire bite necklace for when you don't want to put fake blood on yourself. So this was all crochet using single crochets and chains, so it's a really simple like beginner project. You will have to either sew or glue these onto the chain you make for the necklace, but other than that, the whole rest of it is just crocheting. You don't have to sew either end. It's got a little toggle here, it's got a hoop for that, so you can see you can just put it on and get it in the back. If I can actually get the thing in there. There we go. And then it gives you great little yarn bites that you can adjust. This could be fun for kids if you don't really want to put makeup on them, or just something for them to run around the house and kind of play with, you know, something like that. So it doesn't, they can't actually make a mess with it. It's also reusable, so they can, you know, keep using it year after year if you want to do that. I actually glued these on because I didn't feel like sewing it. Some days you just don't. So that's the things I tried out from that book. There are tons more projects in here for you to try, all sorts of things. There's predominantly probably food crafts, I would say, is the number one on here, and then sewing, and there's usually just one or two of the other things, but it does give you a good variety of stuff to try out and see what you would like to make. Like maybe these little bones here, very cute. Most of the crafts are very cutesy. It's not really scary. So if you're looking for scarier crafts, probably not the book for you. It's more household cutesy crafts. Really, I think it's a pretty good deal. There's a lot of different stuff in here. You could, you know, make stuff year after year. Most of it's not really that complicated. And you can always work on improving your skills over the year to do the more complicated projects. So if you're looking for some fun, not too difficult, and a variety of different crafts to do for Halloween, I think it's a pretty good deal. You can get it on Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble. Runs about $15. Or if you're lucky enough to have a local bookseller, give them the title and see if they can order it for you. And that's about all I have to say about that book. I think it's a pretty good book. There's maybe other better ones, but all in all, for the price point, I think it's a good deal. Well, thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it. This is my first one. I'm sure you can tell. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe. I will be putting out new videos on Fridays. Next week will be a video on a kit, so keep an eye out for that. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Do All the Crafts. So I hope to see you again, and thanks for watching.